Hello, my name is the Singing Costumer. I haven't been around as much as I would have liked on YouTube this year, but I didn't want to let another year go by without doing a little wrap-up year in review project video. So let's go ahead and get started with my first project of the year 2022. So the first project I finished officially this year is my 18th century stays, and clearly I need to buy some shorter lacing. This is the 8-yard length, but I think I need the 5-yard. This is just way too much. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ordered. But I am so excited about how my 18th century projects are going. I am just in love with these. I hope to not have to make another set of stays for many years because they are a handful. They are a project and a half. So hopefully these will last me for a couple years. Alright, project number 2. We have a very simple cotton blue dress. It's very long, but a very simple T shape. It is made to go under this medieval ensemble of an overdress and a hood. I made this for the medieval fair back in April of 2022, and it worked out very well. It was a little bit warm, but I was still very comfortable in this because it is cotton. It's not 100% accurate because medieval people that were not rich would not have access to cotton, at least not in Europe. But I don't care. I'm not in Europe, and it's not the Middle Ages. And it looked good, so that's all that matters to me. Project number 3, coming right up. I finally finished this Edwardian skirt. I literally can't fit it all in the camera frame right now. It's just glorious. It's stiffened with tarlatan to give it some body. Tarlatan is a material that used to be common in women's skirts and some tailoring to give thinner materials some body and stiffness. And it's kind of fallen out of fashion now because you can't wash it. But this gave it great drape, great movement. I adore this piece. Number 4 is next. And this is my Easter dress 2022. I had this fabric in my stash for years and years and years, at least like 8 years. And when I got this pattern from Buttrick, I thought it was the perfect fabric. And again, I'm making all these long things that can't fit in the frame. That's okay. I adore this fabric. It has hot pink embroidered floral designs all over it. And this dress has functional buttons all the way down the front. My buttonhole function on my machine and I got nice and cozy that weekend, just making buttonhole after buttonhole after buttonhole. But in the end, I think it was worth it. I think it's a beautiful dress, and I'll be wearing it many spring times to come. On to the next. Number 5 is this white with black polka dots polyester satin Edwardian blouse. It has the trademark poof at the stomach, and at the wrist it has a bit of extra poof as well. It's such a kooky pattern. This pattern is by Truly Victorian. It's such a kooky look, but when I put it with the skirt and with the belt, it's just so elegant. I love it. It's such a classic look, classic Edwardian look. This does button up all the way in the back, so I can't get into it without a little help from my friends. So it's a little bit of a hassle, but it's so beautiful. I love it. And here we go, on to the next. Numbers 6, 7, and 8 are kind of all a set. It is the undergarments for my Snow White cosplay. I made this whole set this summer to go to Dallas Fan Expo, Comic Con, and I was planning on wearing it sooner con, but things happened. So first I have this little set of bloomers. They're so cute. I love the look of little bloomers beneath the full skirt, and sometimes you just see the little peak of the ruffles at the bottom. It's so cute. Have a little undershirt basically. And here is my petticoat. All of these things were made from one bed sheet from the thrift store. So like $4 for all these things, plus the cost of thread. But I got a very good deal on this. I especially love the ruffles I did at the bottom. I made them like ruffles, but they're ironed down so they look more like pleats. But anyway, I love this set. The whole purpose of this is because you really want to avoid washing your costumes as much as possible, if they're not washing machine safe, of course. My Snow White skirt is made of lace. You'll see the cosplay in a minute. And so I want to not wash it, very much. But these are made of bed sheets. They can go in the washing machine all day long, be just fine. The bodice for Snow White is made out of an upholstery fabric. Who knew? But again, I can't be throwing that, especially with the boning, the metal boning inside it. I can't be throwing that in the washing machine. These, throw in the washing machine and dryer all day long. You'll never have a problem. So that's really the purpose of these, to keep your actual costume clean. All right. Now, instead of just talking about Snow White, how about I go get her? So Snow White has 3 main costume components so far. We have the bodice with the iconic puffed sleeves with the red insert. We have the cape. And we have a full circle skirt made out of lace and trimmed with, you guessed it, more lace at the bottom. I was so pleased with how this one turned out. There's always that moment when you're sewing a cosplay and you finish that one detail, that one component, and you're like, it's actually happening. I'm making this cosplay. It's just sort of nebulous before that point, but then after you do that one component, you're like, here it is, it's really happening. For me, that was the teardrop inserts here on the sleeves, and it just, chef's kiss. I just adore it so much. I had so much fun walking around Dallas Fan Expo and seeing all the other princesses. It was so great. It was a great time. More princesses will be coming, I'm sure. But like I said, this is made out of an upholstery fabric. I just had a scrap of it in my stash, and I thought it was just beautiful and had some detail without being distracting. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough. So the sleeves, the blue of the sleeves is in fact a different fabric, but I really don't think you can tell. If I hadn't have told you, would you be able to notice? I don't know. But it turned out so well. This year, 2023, I plan to go to at least 1 or 2 conventions, and I'm hoping to make the white collar. I didn't get a chance to do that this year. I do have her bow and her wig. I took an old wig and just kind of curled it up and put it into a little bob, a mock bob. Anyway, I am so pleased with how this turned out. Let's move on. So this was just a quick little last minute, and I mean last minute, addition to my cause plans for Dallas Fan Expo. We met the 4 actors of the 4 main hobbits in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. It was so much fun. They are so nice, so personal, each and every one. But I thought it was 3 or 4 days before we had to leave. And I was like, I can't meet them without having a hobbit costume. I mean, really, I cannot do it. So I quickly thrifted a skirt. I grabbed a pirate shirt from my Pirate Belle cosplay. And I thrifted this pink wool shell blouse from the store and added this green inset. It was a little bit small, so I had to disguise that by adding in this middle panel. I think it turned out very Hobbit-like. I had this trim in my stash as well. I thought it worked out very well. The craftsmanship of this is not my best because I was just trying to make it fit. But it ended up fitting. We met them, we got our pictures. It was a lovely time. I turned it into a lace up in the back. And again, like I said, added the green panel, added this faux lacing. These are just bias strips. So it turned out very well. I'm not pleased with the handiwork here. So I might, if I have another occasion, I might make a whole new Hobbit costume from scratch. But yeah, let's move on. One of these things is not like the others. This, in fact, is not a costume or an article of clothing. It is a garment bag. This was an unfinished project from years ago, again 6 or 8 years ago, and I was trying to clean out my works in progress basket just to clear it out. I didn't quite get as far as I would have liked, but there's always next year. But I went ahead and finished this. Years and years ago, I had a dream of having a closet for all my costumes. Just black and white boxes for the accessories, and black and white garment bags all hung up in a row. Different patterns, different fabrics, but all black and white. Someday that may happen, but this is not the year. But anyway, I did get this finished. So very cute, very useful. But why don't we move on? The next project I have to talk about, I don't actually have because it was a gift. I made a little princess dress for my niece. I am planning to build a costume library, is what I'm calling it, for my nieces and nephews. So their parents can hold the costumes and the children can wear them, enjoy them, and when they have grown out of it, they can give that costume back to me, and I can pass it off to the next younger cousin. So it's kind of always in circulation around the family. But this little burgundy dress was so cute. I used up scraps of different velvets, different velveteens, some satin, just all these different textures of burgundies and maroons. And it just turned out so beautiful. And I was so pleased with it. So maybe some year I'll get some pictures of a child wearing it. But for now, let's just skip it and move on. So I just adore the play suits and beach wear, like casual resort wear from the mid-century, 40s, 50s. And so I started my own set this year. This is the skirt, obviously, and I made it out of a thrifted Little Mermaid bed sheet. So cute. I hope to finish a little top to go with it, and get some pictures in it this coming summer. So it'll still be like 6 months before I can wear it, but you know what, that's okay. It'll still be there this summer. This was a very cute Vogue pattern, I believe. And it's just a simple little skirt with a shaped waistband, taller in the center, and a little bit of ruching in the sides. It's not as obvious. The ruching on the sides is not as obvious as I would have liked, but it's okay. It's still super cute. I'm still gonna wear it if I ever go on a beach vacation. Or I might just wear it in the backyard. We'll see. Moving on. So number 15, once again, has been in the works for quite a while. It is this Victorian day dress. It was originally made for somebody else, and then I reworked it 2 times to get it to finally work for me. And I still have to corset down very tightly to fit it, but I can fit it, so that's all that matters. I love the tucks in the front that opens up and releases here. And once again, this trim, I adore this trim, it's so beautiful. And we have a nice full skirt. It is not as full as I would have liked, but I didn't have any more of this fabric, and I had already finished the skirt, so I just left it. It can't fit over my big hoop skirts, so this is more of a casual day wear about the house for your Victorian looks. But I am so pleased to have this done and out of the works in progress pile. The sleeves are nice and full and long. And it's just so much fun to wear, to just swoosh about. I wear multiple petticoats with it, and the swoosh factor is delicious. Number 16. So here we have my first serious attempt at millinery. This is a Victorian hat, a little bit of a later Victorian look. It has a little stand in the back, plenty of flowers, plenty of decorations. I could have gone harder on the decorations, but I thought this was sufficient. Kind of made little knot bow and a knot. I don't know what it was. Then I had this, I'm assuming it used to be a belt buckle. It's just this decoration that I had in my stash. Used up this black brocade satin from my stash. And then I used some tarlatan from the stash for the stiffening layer of the hat. I also used some felt to make it even stiffer. A lot of projects, when I'm sewing and there's a lot of hand sewing to be done, I'll turn on a TV show or a movie, and I will always remember, because this is what I was sewing when I watched the entire Game of Thrones series. I think I started at around season 6 when I started making this, but House of the Dragon was about to come on, and I still hadn't actually watched all of Game of Thrones. So as I was finishing up Game of Thrones, I was finishing up this hat. So sometimes you have memories of when you're making a project. You're like, oh, I was doing this. Oh, this was when this happened. So I'll always think of Game of Thrones when I see this hat. It cracks me up. But I love her. One of my Instagram followers suggested the name Patience. I said, this hat is so magnificent, she deserves a name. And they suggested Patience. So I think that's what we should call her. What do you think? Alright, next. So next up are just a couple of casual items. I found some fabric at Walmart. I know. and I wanted to test these patterns to see if I liked them before I spent good money on good fabric. So this one is from Patterns for Pirates, and it's good. This is the grandpa cardigan. I'm pretty pleased with this. I'll make it in a size smaller next time, just a little bit too big. This one, I don't remember what pattern it is. I'll have to look it up. I love this fabric, it's super cute, but this gathered waist seam, just where it hits on me, is not it. Is not cute. So I need to wear a belt over it or something. I'll have to think of some way to get around it because it is so cute, but just the gathered waist on me at this particular spot where the waist is just, it's not cute. It's not it. I don't know if it should be shorter on me or longer. I know I'm long-waisted and I have short legs. I do know that much. So maybe I need to lengthen the bodice. I don't know. I'll have to do some more experiments. Get some more cheap fabric. Experiment to see if I can find a way I do like it. Usually I like dresses with no waist seam that are just long. But isn't this such cute fabric? Just a couple of casual items. All right, let's go. Now we are up to Halloween. I'm so excited. I did 2 Belle cosplays for Halloween this year. The first one is Belle's casual look from Wreck-It Ralph 2. I bought the t-shirt from Shop Disney back when the movie first came out. I'm borrowing these gold leggings. They're very, very shiny. Love it. And I made this little sports bra to go underneath it. Again, out of scraps from my stash. It's very strappy, very fun. I didn't think about how it would look under the back here, the racer back. So it kind of spoils the effect, but it's okay. This is cut so low, I had to have some good coverage underneath it. So that's why I made this one. It still turned out cute. It was definitely the wrong size. I need to work on sizing before I make another one of these. It did fit, it was just too big. But yeah, I like it. It turned out super cute. And now, Halloween number 2. Halloween look number 2 was the one I was most excited about. It is Belle's village dress. I was so pleased with this. I am going to remake the blouse. The picture on front of the pattern didn't quite, I feel, look like what this pattern ended up looking like. So it's not quite looking as much as the animated Belle outfit than I would have liked. But this is good for now. It's still a very nice pattern. And I had this blue, that's the perfect shade of blue, a nice length, nice huge length, just sitting in my stash, just waiting for this day. So I was so pleased with it. Then of course, Belle has to have her apron. And again, this is stash materials. I did a little bit of machine embroidery at the bottom. You can't really see it. But I wore this on Halloween day. One child came trick-or-treating. One. I was so disappointed. I wanted kids to come and see it. But anyway, there's always conventions. There's always Halloween next year. If I don't make another Belle costume for Halloween next year, we shall see. Belle has quite a few costumes if you think about it. She's quite a few in the movie. Alright, enough about Belle. Next! So my last costume piece for this year is this adorable little apron. It was meant to be for a Christmas elf cosplay, an original character, and she just didn't get finished this year. Time ran out, I didn't have time to get photos, and here it is December 30th, so it's okay, next year. But this used to be a full apron with like a bib top and then the skirt and some weird crossing strap situation in the back. I never really liked it very much. The bib was too narrow to really cover anything, so it was kind of useless. And when I put this over the dress I was planning on wearing, the bib part of it interfered with the neckline and just made it look really bad. So I just took it apart and took the bib part off and redid the straps. So it's ready for next year. I can take Christmas photos in October and have them just ready to go. Maybe I'll have time to do another Christmas character as well. We'll see. So that's it for my year. Those are all my completed projects. I made a list throughout the year. This is my second year doing this. Making a detailed list throughout the year so I know when I started something, when I finished it, what pattern I used, what size I cut, just so I can remember if 5 years down the line I want to make another one and I know, oh, this is too small. What size did I cut before? Useful information like that. So I was able to easily find every single piece that I finished this year. And as I was going through the year, you think, oh, I didn't really accomplish all that much. But when I put it all together, it's like, wow, I really did accomplish some goals. I finished 2 or 3 huge projects that were just weighing me down mentally. These work in progress projects that I've been wanting to finish for like 5 years, and I got a few of them done, and I'm so happy I did. I got some stash fabric out. I got some cosplays finished that I really wanted to work on, and I'm just feeling refreshed and ready to go into the new year. How about you? Did you have a good Christmas? Did you have happy holidays? What are your New Year's plans? Are you the type that doesn't make New Year's plans? Let me know all about it. Keep it here because one of my goals for this next year is to post on my YouTube more often and with more varied content. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you in 2023. See you later.